Hi there, I'm nicodehaan, and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced and natural wild world.
To recover our natural health, regain our rights and freedoms, I'm Ellen Dahan.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day in Durango, Colorado right now. Let me see here. It is 54 degrees, so pretty nice.
Yeah, it's a little warmer than seasonal.
Yeah, 64 degrees high and 36 at night. Still nice and cool at night for sure. I like it a lot. So let's see. No editorials, right? So please subscribe and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I got the ticker here, yeah. And please subscribe to our channels and help our channel grow. We post on Facebook and LinkedIn, so you can check out the
And
feeds
Odysee.
there. Yeah, and Odysee too. That's right. And if you hit the link below the show notes, you can maximize your nutrition with the Mother Earth Labs. These are some products that we use. I also have some links to Amazon products that we use. You can check those out too. And if you have any questions or comments, you can always reach me at nicodehaan@me.com. We look at mainstream news stories about anti-aging, natural health, history, climate, as well as our freedom. And we do our own analysis, and you should too. All the topics for today's show are in the show notes listed below in the description. Any questions or comments, you can put them on Facebook or LinkedIn or even YouTube, or again, hit me up at nicodehaan@me.com. Yeah. So much that.
Okay.
Yeah, today we're talking about sleep.
Based on some of our adventures.
Well, one thing that I think a lot of people are using now are these tracking systems. And many years ago, we bought a Sleep Number bed, which is a nice bed.
Yeah, we didn't buy it for the app.
No, in fact, I didn't know anything about the app.
Right.
It's just that you have a comfort level that you can kind of
you can adjust separately the firmness of the bed. You can adjust the angle of the head.
Things like that. So we decided that we were going to splurge one day, and I think the old king size bed that we had just was not working out.
It was time for a change, for a new bed.
So. Yeah. So and they're not cheap, these beds. So, but we figured, why not invest?
Well, we've had it for many years now.
Yeah, we've had it for 15 years now.
No, at least. Yeah,
maybe
I'm thinking. Yeah.
Anyway, the first article that we're talking about is.
So can tracking make my sleep worse?
That's a question I always thought about too, because you look at the app in the morning and you go, geez, I slept like crap. And the app all of a sudden says, whoa, wait a minute, you're great sleeping. Congratulations.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I look at the app more for entertainment value than for any kind of guidance, because I fall asleep. It feels like I fell asleep the minute I went into bed, and then it feels like I slept really well. And then I get up in the morning feeling rested. And I look at my app and it says, oh, you had a terrible night. You didn't fall asleep for 2.5 hours once you went to bed. And it's like, I know that's not right.
And I think everybody's had the experience where you feel you're restless and everything like that. And I always wonder. Yeah, I had a terrible night. I was tossing and turning. Was I dreaming that I was tossing and turning?
But then you go and look at the app and it says, oh, congratulations, 89.
I know, it's ridiculous. So let's read this article. Can tracking my sleep make my sleep worse?
Yeah, the ticking tyranny of 2 a.m. after you climbed into bed responsibly at 11. We all know it. As the minutes go by, all you can think about is the importance of good sleep for function, mood, and productivity. And while health tracking devices have helped many gain insight into their bodies, hyperfixation on sleep metrics can backfire.
Yeah, according to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, more than 1/3 of Americans have used the devices to chronicle their shut-eye.
Yeah, and so they call it. There's all of that data about our snoozing selves has introduced a new concern. the obsession with attaining perfect sleep, a condition that experts call orthosomnia.
Yeah, the modern phenomenon is also a brutal paradox. Due to the very nature of sleep, fixation on it can actually make it harder to get. For many people, as soon as you start pursuing the perfect sleep, it negatively impacts your sleep quality.
According to a sleep researcher, Drew Copeland.
Yeah, this condition was first identified in 2017 by researchers who noticed patients coming in anxiety-ridden about their sleep tracking data.
Dr. Kelly Glazer Barron, a psychologist, director of the Behavioral Sleep Medicine Lab at the University of Utah, and a researcher in the pioneering study, sees people's anxiety about their sleep have a snowball effect. And she told Popular Science, it often causes them to do things that make their sleep worse, like spending more time in bed than they should, which is a common Hail Mary for struggling sleepers that most experts advise against.
Yeah, and a chapter here called Measuring Expectations and Sleep Stages. Average consumers study their sleep metrics often, who do that, often don't understand what they're looking at compared to what their bodies actually need.
And the researcher says half of your sleep in the night is supposed to be light sleep. It's not and it's also normal to have some awakenings. Sleep is not a coma. It's not supposed to be a solid block of unconsciousness.
Yeah, the score, the recovery are mostly nonsense. It's like horoscopes. Dr. Grandier said. He's the director of sleep and health research program at the University of Arizona. Gardner also warns against believing devices' sleep stage metrics.
Yeah, I mean, if you're running your life based upon your sleep number bed,
there's more anxiety, and you're thinking about something that
and obviously isn't 100% accurate, or even maybe 50% accurate.
Yeah, who knows?
Okay, sleep stages were invented by researchers in the 1930s to refer to signatures of synchronicity in the sleeping brain as seen through brainwave measurements. Even almost a century later, experts don't have the technology to see the actual neurons firing, which is why two technicians may interpret the stages slightly differently from one another.
Yeah, Gardner says
Gradner.
Yeah, says consumer devices are even messier. What's more, sleep stages are less important than people think. Sleep trackers are best used as snapshots of when you are awake and asleep. A compassionate tool.
Companionate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not compassionate.
Yeah, I was reading them too fast there.
Yeah.
Alongside what you actually feel.
Then another researcher says, I would never initiate treatment based on somebody's data from their device. Treatment for insomnia is based on people's subjective experience of their sleep. Yeah, and everybody's different too. That's
yeah, it's concerning because when I do in the morning, it's usually I look at the metrics. And I'm just looking at what my score is. And if it's in the 80s, I feel really good. If it's in the 70s, I don't feel too bad. Dip down in the 60s or 50s,
then you look at the diagnostics and you go, wait a minute, I wasn't awake for 7 hours last night. You know,
or it's a lot of times the reverse, where it's you got a 92 or something, and you felt like, my God, I was up
toss
at 2
and
o'clock,
turn.
I toss and turn all night. So who knows? But then later on, I noticed that I am feeling energetic. So it's that paradox, and maybe we're overthinking it a little bit too much. And these devices really do not a lot.
No, they don't do anything. I mean, the other thing that's on the app is the firmness of your bed, the angle of the head, the angle of the foot.
Yeah, and I do notice with the sleep number bed, I started out years ago when I first got it. It was real nice and comfy, setting the firmness at about 70, something like that.
I always thought I liked a hard bed, but that didn't turn out to be
well
true.
Actually, through the years, I've constantly, I went up to like 75, then I went up to 80, and then about 5 years ago I went up to 85, and now in the last year I've been setting it at 90, and that's my preferred.
Okay.
So I have changed it. I've tried different tilts in the bed.
Mhm.
Flat for me is the best.
Yeah,
I noticed that
unless
you-
you're having trouble breathing, and then every once in a great while I'll hit the controller, just raise you up just a tiny bit to help
That's
help
what's
you with-
happening.
to help with your breathing.
Yeah.
So
But,
this time of year, especially with the allergies.
Yeah, allergies are, when we open the windows and stuff, we
Mm-hmm.
notice a little bit harder breathing. But
Well,
we have a lot of
sneezing our
pollen.
heads off. Okay.
So on his podcast,
How to handle sleep problems. Okay.
okay. Yeah, so on a podcast, this doctor,
Neuroscientist, Dr. Matthew Walker.
he says that the best thing you can do,
Good.
you can do the day after a bad night's sleep is nothing different.
Yeah.
Don't go to bed at 6 o'clock or nap during lunch. Don't change your thing.
Your routine.
You'll probably catch up. Yeah.
Right.
Consistency and a calm approach are the best ways to ensure that your circadian rhythms do what they're meant to do.
Well, sleep is vital. It's not something people should feel the need to micromanage. Like breathing, it's a passive biological process. It's important to remember that human evolution figured this out a long time ago. The body already knows what to do.
It's a solved problem. We are trying to fix a solution to a solved problem, which is the paradox, I guess, of the whole thing, right?
Yeah. Well, the more you stress about, am I going to sleep tonight, the less you sleep. The more anxious you get, the more you work yourself up.
Yeah.
And it's some nights I hit the pillow, and I had a reading about 5 or 6 days ago, and it said time to fall asleep 0. I must have passed out when my head hit the pillow.
Yeah.
But I don't worry about it. I know that I'm going to fall asleep.
Yeah.
So I regulate my breathing. Maybe I'll do a little affirmations to kind of get my mind going in a rhythm.
Yeah, a lot of times especially on nights that I go a little bit earlier than other nights because I have to wake up earlier the next morning. I usually go to bed like at 8:30 on those nights.
Because you have to be up at 4:30.
Yeah. Other nights I go to bed closer to 9:30 or 10.
Mhm.
So it's not a lot of difference, but there is enough difference where it does show up a lot of times in restlessness. Maybe I don't fall asleep as quickly, but
if you have something the next day that you're a little nervous about or that you're thinking about, sometimes that will affect it as well.
Yeah. Well, here's a question with the next article: is sleeping outside good for you? Science.
Sleeping outside. Yes.
Yeah. And I always thought when I went to camping and stuff like that, and I slept outside, that was always a really good experience for me.
Yeah. So if we watch a lot of podcasts of overlanders who are camping and listening to the stories of the mosquitoes and the biting flies.
Well, yeah, that's not fun. You have to definitely
have to protect yourself,
for sure.
And also the campgrounds. If you're at a campground where there's 25 other vehicles, it's going to be noisy. And
that's not something I would enjoy.
No.
There are plenty of studies that suggest that being out in nature is good for your health. And so it makes sense that sleeping beneath the stars would be too. But if you're not a person that's prone to camping, are you missing out is the question.
So Dr. Jennifer L. Martin, who's a spokesperson for the American Academy of Sleep Medicine and the former president of its board of directors, has a quote here. Like most things related to sleep, she says, there's a lot of personalization involved. What helps one person sleep well may not work for everyone. Still, there seems to be real evidence that a night or 3 in nature can help both your body and mind reset.
Yeah, Martin believes there are 2 main reasons why some people feel like they sleep really well outside. The first is that many of the factors that disrupt our sleep in a normal sleep environment, like smart cell phones, telephone sets,
television
sets. Well, we have those too. And laptops have been removed from the equation. When you're out in the wilderness, things like electricity and good Wi-Fi are typically limited, and you're in a place that's quiet, cool, and comfortable. All factors that can benefit sleep.
And her second reason is people who find themselves sleeping outdoors are often on vacation.
Yeah.
Overall stress levels tend to be lowered, she said. which can lead us to be more relaxed and allow us to fall asleep more easily and sleep more soundly.
Another thing is sleeping outdoors can reset your body clock. What is your body clock?
Yeah,
Well, disruptive blue wavelengths can wreak havoc on the body's internal clock, even suppressing the production of melatonin, a hormone that helps regulate our rhythms, our circadian rhythms.
Mhm.
So yeah, blue light, and everything today is blue light.
Yeah,
Even
the
our
TV,
the normal bulbs that we used to have were yellow light. Now most of them are LED, which are blue.
right.
However, they've blued them. They've taken some of the blue out
Mhm.
and a lot of them, which are the ones we use. But one of the typical things that we do in our house is not put lights on at all. We do have the TV on quite a bit in the evening.
Yeah.
We watch a few shows, and we do look at our iPads occasionally also. Trying to limit them seems to be hard in our modern day world, because just about everything that we do productively for jujitsu, for doing any research that we're doing for the show, or things that we're interested in, are mostly done on devices.
Oh, sure. Yeah. We're
So
not
that
going
makes
to
them-
the library.
No.
No, but, and you know, the thing is this: we do have regular light bulb, a regular light bulb in the small lamp in the living.
Oh yeah.
And
That's what we turn
the
on.
TV, yeah, and we turn that on, and then the TV gets turned off. You go to bed,
Yeah.
and I'm up for another hour or so on some nights, and a couple hours on other nights when you've gone to bed early.
Yeah.
So the TV is off. I read from my iPad, but I've got it set on night, so it's dark screen with just some yellow.
Yeah. The other thing that
Print.
we haven't done is upgraded our TV, and we still have an old plasma, which are not LED,
Right.
so we don't get the blue light from the TV. So I think that helps a lot.
Yeah.
It's a very old TV. Picture is still good. We do have one line on the side.
A line of I don't know what it is. It's like an icicle on the side of the
yeah, it's
screen.
very thin,
Yeah.
and it does go away in a lot of situations.
When the TV is warmed up, usually.
Yeah, warmed up a little bit. And we've looked at other TVs, we're thinking maybe we should replace some old. That's a big one, heavy, not like the light ones. But we're kind of waiting out. And why should we spend $1,000 or $2,000 on a new TV right now? Anyway,
we don't have to.
We don't have to. Yeah, and we have one in the guest bedroom. That's really your office, in my stretching room, and that's an old plasma also. And so we're keeping those as long as we can, because it just makes sense to us a lot.
Yeah. Well, and now getting back to sleeping outside, talking about resetting your clock and so on. There's two other things I wanted to mention that, I'm not a camper. I have camped. I don't enjoy it. It's not something I want to do. And however, there are two things that you can do if you're not camping. And one of them is called forest bathing. And it really is, it applies to any exposure to the outdoors. It doesn't have to be in a forest.
Right.
Just walking. I walk around walk in the yard, see if my tulips are coming up yet.
And you need to go barefoot in the yard too.
Yeah. And that was, or taking a walk in the neighborhood and getting the benefit of the sunshine and the green leaves and, whatever else, the sound of the birds. And then I have grounding, which involves just standing barefoot on the ground. And we have very thin slate.
That's our meal being prepared.
Oh, okay.
Instapot.
Okay. The grounding, I stand on the sun-warmed, very thin slate pieces that make a walkway in front of our house, and I can feel the vibration of I don't know what it is, the energy of the earth, and it comes through. And
it's not the big truck going by.
No, no,
which we don't have. So
no.
That's nice.
So grounding and grounding can be standing on a boulder. Grounding can be standing with your feet in the dirt.
Even on cement.
And it works on cement. But there, we watched a podcast for a
They
The
were taking
podcaster
measurements.
was measuring the energy that came from the different surfaces,
Yeah.
and it turned out that it came through
Yeah.
on like a sidewalk.
Yeah, maybe not quite as strong, but
Right.
I think grass is a great conductor
Right.
of living things. So
Mhm.
trees and everything.
Yeah. Putting my hand, I like to put my hands on the aspen tree.
Yeah.
It's-
And in the
That's a
morning,
particularly energetic
Mhm. Yeah.
tree, and it is connected to every other aspen tree in the area. You know, it's all one
it's all one
one
tree, just
organism,
like the elm trees. Yeah.
right? So but anyway, so it's not necessary to sleep outside, but you should also spend some time outside and try and absorb the energy of the earth
Yeah.
around
I've
you.
always enjoyed sleeping outside. It's plus it's an adventure, so I always like adventures too.
You do?
Who would have thought? Creating the right outside sleep environment for the best night's sleep, Martin recommends considering what relaxes you and makes you cozy when planning a night under the stars. If you're staying in a campground, think about booking a spot that's removed from the roadways so you're not dealing with constant headlights and people.
Yeah, the sounds of nature can be much more calming than artificial sounds like TV sets and traffic horns. Bring along earplugs in case noisy neighbors keep you up at night. Check that you have an appropriate sleeping bag and enough layers for adequate warmth, and have a comfortable surface to sleep on.
Yeah, the ideal sleeping spot should be flat and level, away from wind and possible falling trees.
Oh, good plan.
And out of the line of water drainage paths.
And when it comes to getting proper sleep, comfort and safety are the key.
Yeah, and they talk about considering
Glamping.
glamping, which is just in your backyard. So
Well, no, I mean there are plenty of places you can go and
Yeah, that's
glamp,
true,
and
too.
it's
there's a
very
nice picture
comfortable.
here.
Yeah, very nice tent with electricity, a proper bed, and often heating or air conditioning. So you have the experience of sleeping with the sounds of nature and so on.
Exactly.
The most important factor, a good night's sleep.
And what is that?
While breathing in outdoor air is generally advantageous, things like wildfires and allergens in the environment may do more harm than good.
For sure.
So whether you're sleeping outside or getting comfy in our beds, getting a good night's sleep should be the primary goal.
Yeah. Next article is, why do some people need less sleep? And
You know, it's interesting when you buy your sleep number bed, they ask you how many hours of sleep do you feel like you need.
Mhm.
You know, and for whatever reason, I just said 7, and that's what's been on my app since we bought the bed. And 7 hours seems to be a good. Every once in a while, I'll sleep longer. Just I felt tired, so I went to bed maybe a little earlier.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll sleep longer. And
I think for me, like between 7 and 8, but I have noticed that when I was younger, I could sleep less and have less of a problem. Of course, the goal when I was a teenager was always stay up as late as you can. Freedom.
I didn't have that option. It was, Mom was all over us. You're going to sleep, go to sleep. Turn off the light. Don't read. Don't do anything. And I shared a room with my sister, so
yeah,
it was like goodbye.
Another thing that happened as I grew older, I think I went to bed earlier and earlier, and I remember my parents always talking about that the hours before midnight count as twice.
Right, better. Yeah, you
Yeah,
get more
about that.
benefit. I think Deepak Chopra said that too.
Yeah, many people said that.
Yeah,
A funny little story I can tell right here.
yeah. I knew where you were going.
Yeah, so it was on special occasions, like, well,
New Year's
particularly it was New Year's Eve.
Right.
My parents, when we were young, before I was a teenager, my parents slowly but surely knocked the clock back a little bit.
Or forward.
Or forward, yeah,
Forward.
that's right.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
yeah.
So by the time it was like 8 o'clock, it was getting close to like 11 o'clock. Little did we know that my parents usually had a little get together with the family or some friends. And
for New Year's,
for New Year's.
midnight.
Yeah. So they would have the party starting at about 9 o'clock, and we were already in bed because we thought it was midnight. They have a little celebration with us, and oh, kids, you did so good. And one day, I think I was like 12 years old or something like that. And my sister and I had a bedroom upstairs, and both of us woke up and we heard some commotion, and we crawled
down the stairs.
And here we see a big party going on. And that's when my parents told us about this whole thing that we were doing for years. So that was kind of funny. So why do people need less sleep? Most of us getting less than 7 hours of sleep translates into grogginess, sluggish thinking, and an overwhelming urge to crawl back into bed.
Some people wake up fresh and energized after just 6 hours of sleep or less. And given that sleep is essential for the body to repair and restore itself, why is it that some people can get by with less?
Yeah, we skipped a lot of this. But
well, there's a whole section here. The next section talks about the 4 genes that are found in people who don't need a lot of sleep.
Yeah, and that's genetic.
Yeah, genetic.
Yeah.
So
besides genetic, there are other factors that influence how much sleep a person needs.
So one is age.
I guess that's what I was talking about earlier. Right.
Dr. Clareman, a professor of neurology at Mass General Hospital and Harvard Medical School, says there are other factors. And generally, babies, young children, and teens need more sleep than adults to support their growth and development.
Well, certainly babies do.
Yeah, babies do.
Yeah. If you lead a busy life and wish to have more hours in a day, you might find yourself wondering, can I train myself to need less sleep? Probably not is the short answer.
Quantity of sleep you need is dictated by your biology, specifically your genes and your age. And there's no evidence that lifestyle can influence sleep need.
Yeah.
I mean, it can influence how much sleep you get, but it can't change how much you need.
Yeah. While you can build a tolerance to sleep deprivation, that's not the same as actually needing less sleep.
And most of us thrive on 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. Anything less will lead to sluggish thinking and slower reaction times, and can raise your risk for long-term health problems too. This is interesting stuff.
And
is it better to sleep in cycles?
Yeah, this is an interesting article. In an ideal world, when we would all wake up in the morning feeling refreshed and ready for the day. But if you're anything like me, says the author, you can barely pry open your eyes when the alarm goes off and your bed seems to exert a strong magnetic pull on your body to get back into bed. So I usually wake up before the alarm. I do set an alarm, but my tendency is normally 99% of the time to wake up about 10 minutes before the alarm goes off. Kind of trained myself for that over the years. And it seems to work no matter if I set it at 4:30 in the morning, or I set the alarm at 6. In fact, on days that I don't go to the dojo, I don't set the alarm, but I normally wake up about 6 a.m.
Right. And then lately, the last 6 months or maybe a little longer, I set my alarm, but I generally wake up about 10 minutes before the alarm, which is nice.
Yeah, that's why when I do that, I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, I always feel like it's natural rhythm, and I'm not being jarred awake by it.
Yeah, in fact,
my adrenaline is waking me up.
Yesterday morning, I woke up with the alarm. I remember I think it was up about 4 o'clock or something like that, or maybe 2:30 or something. And then I was thinking about something, and then all of a sudden the alarm rang, and it was 4:30.
Yeah. So sometimes if you fall back asleep, it's a more deep sleep.
Yeah, and that's what it seemed like for me yesterday.
Okay, so they talk about the 90-minute sleep cycle, and they say that
it promises to help you rise feeling energized.
Concept goes back to the 1950s when researchers discovered that sleep happens in cycles, which they called I don't know how you pronounce it. So see, ultradian cycles. And this was according to a medical director of the Centera Rockingham Memorial Hospital Sleep Center. Your brain and body journey from light stage 1 and 2 sleep to deep stage 3 sleep followed by a period of rapid eye movement, sleep with dreaming, and then the cycle begins again.
Light sleep serves as a transition from being awake to being in deep sleep. Deep sleep is when your body repairs and restores itself. And the dream-filled REM sleep allows your brain to process emotions and consolidate memories.
A single sleep cycle typically lasts around 90 minutes, says Dr. Andrea Matsumura, a board-certified sleep medicine physician and founder of the Sleep Goddess method. Most people complete 4 to 6 cycles per night.
The logic behind the 90 minutes sleep cycle hack is simple. Waking up at the end of a completed cycle when you are in a lighter stage of sleep makes you feel more refreshed than you would be if you're jolted out of deep sleep.
Now, there are times when this 90-minute cycle just doesn't apply. And Matsumura explains that while sleep cycles average around 90 minutes, their length varies from person to person.
Yeah, even the same person, a sleep cycle doesn't always last the same amount of time. Factors like stress, alcohol, illness, or even what time you went to bed all impacts your sleep cycle. So this method isn't really a guarantee that you'll wake up less groggy.
Jade Wu, a board-certified sleep psychologist, agrees that the 90-minute sleep cycle hack is not scientifically sound. Sleep cycle length varies depending on how much sleep you need that night, your hormones, your sleep environment, what you ate, what you did, where you are, what season it is, what time you went to bed, how much you've slept recently, and other things. And she says there's no way to predict or regulate cycles to be exactly 90 minutes.
It could be some woo-woo there.
Yeah.
In theory, the 90-minute sleep cycle hack promises to help you avoid waking up from a deep stage 3 sleep, which is more difficult and leaves you feeling more groggy.
Yeah, sometimes when that alarm goes off, you're in the middle of deeply in the middle of a dream. That's what I find because I'm in stage 3, you know. And it's jarring.
Yeah.
When the alarm goes off.
Yeah. So in theory, the sleep cycle hack promises to help you avoid waking up from this deep stage 3 sleep, which is more difficult and leaves you more groggy. I just said that, didn't I?
That's all right.
Yeah. Instead of relying on such a hack, it's better to prioritize a consistent sleep schedule so your body naturally wakes up closer to the end of the cycle.
So that means going to bed and waking up at about the same time, even on weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, in your case, you can't do that because you have to be up
Unless I just decide that 8:30 is going to be my sleep thing.
every night.
Yeah. But
that doesn't.
No, I'm not doing
that. You're not 110 falling asleep in the Barca lounge.
Maybe when I'm 110, I won't do that. I'm keeping my options open. So both these authors advise avoiding screens close to bedtime. That seems normal, keeping your room quiet and comfortable.
And dark. We have our bedroom is very dark.
And we don't have a TV.
And we're not reading in bed or anything like that. The room remains dark. Yeah,
and avoid sleep disruptors like alcohol and caffeine. I normally don't have caffeine after 12 noon.
Yeah.
And normally.
Yeah, sometimes I'll have coffee at 1.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem to bother
me. Even in the afternoon, if I have an espresso or something, I'm at a restaurant or even at home.
Right.
It doesn't seem to disrupt anything for me.
Right.
The screens probably can do that to you. And even if your mind is very active naturally.
Well, yeah, if your thoughts are going around, that doesn't help. And Wu says it's normal to feel groggy for 20 to 30 minutes after waking, even with healthy sleep.
Natural sunlight in the morning can help wipe out your grogginess. It resets your internal clock, boosts your alertness by signaling to your brain to reduce the melatonin, that's the sleep hormone, and increase cortisol for the alertness.
Yeah, and that's why I do my grounding first thing in the morning, usually around 9 a.m. and I turn towards the morning sun. Mm-hmm. I close my eyes because I'm not going to look directly into the sun. I'm not looking directly into the sun, but I am facing the sun and it also helps with the mitochondrial DNA in your eye.
Yeah. And of course, 150 years ago, the only light was really the candle light type of stuff. I don't remember when the light bulb was actually invented, but I
Early
know that
1900s.
most of our existence on this planet has been without that artificial
Well, it's
light.
been the natural circadian rhythms of the sun
Yeah.
rising and setting.
Yeah, and people would gather in the evening and
Mhm.
cozy up for a while, but go to bed
Maybe light a
relatively early.
fire.
And before clocks, I mean, what were people doing?
Well, the
Time to
sun
go to
went
bed.
down, it was time to go to bed.
Yeah, exactly. So that's our natural thing, and our society has really gotten away from that, at least in the Western hemisphere. More.
Well, since you have artificial light, I mean,
Yeah.
there's no limits. You can just stay up and whatever.
And I think a lot of this thing has more to do with it certainly impacts our sleep and how we function during the day, but we're always on schedules, and I think that's a burden that is part of modern society.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think we were on schedules when we were more in the natural world because we had to get food, we had to clean things, and do maintenance on things. But it's now a lot of people are impacted by their work schedule.
Mm.
So thank goodness
Not us.
not us. There was a few years back in the 80s where I was a bouncer.
Mhm.
And so on weekends, I would work till 5 o'clock in the morning. The bar was open till 5.
Mhm.
And then you were so wound up,
Mhm.
not only just from all the activity, but you were probably
Had a
drinking
few
some
beers or
alcohol.
whatever.
Yeah, smoke a joint or whatever.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden we'd go to a bar and
Mhm.
play pool for a couple hours just to kind of unwind a little bit. But those days are gone, thank goodness. For sure.
Yeah, but there's a lot of research that has to do with staying up, working the night shift, and that it absolutely impairs your body rhythm, your circadian rhythms, and
Sure.
it's not healthy,
Makes sense.
and it causes a lot of problems.
Yeah.
So the bottom line here was the 90-minute sleep cycle may sound scientific, but it doesn't hold up under scrutiny. And experts agree that maintaining good sleep hygiene is far more effective than chasing calculator-approved bedtime.
And there you go. That's the bottom line. All these devices, calculations that we do to get better sleep are probably might be the thing that's disrupting your sleep to begin with. Who knows?
Yeah, and I mean, I've got my timing set on the app to go to bed at 11 and to get up at around 7.
Mhm.
Which gives me 8 hours in the bed.
Yeah.
And
And it really works for us too, because we have a little different. You stay up a little later.
Well,
I wake up a little earlier.
Mhm.
Typical mornings when I'm not here in the morning, I'll be in jiu-jitsu. But when I am here, I usually wake up about 30 to 45 minutes before you do.
Right.
And that's when I do some push-ups and squats. I go outside, ground myself. And then by the time you get up, I'm all refreshed and say, "Hey, baby, how you doing?" Yeah. So,
Yeah, and plus if you go to bed about an hour before I do, maybe anywhere an hour to half an hour or whatever, depending on if I'm reading and the words are like disappearing off the page and I'm falling asleep, then I go to bed, But it gives you a chance to fall into good sleep so that you're not disturbed.
Well, one thing nice about the Sleep Number bed that we have 2 sides that are different, so we can raise it up and stuff. When you get in bed, I can't feel a thing.
Right. It doesn't. The old days when the bed would.
Yeah. You'd be on a wave. Remember the old water beds?
Oh,
you get in that bed.
I never had a water bed.
Yeah,
I slept on a water bed occasionally from a friend or something, But so I had the experience of the water bed, but I remember back when I was first practicing the community association law, and I had to draft rules and regulations. And it said, no, these are 2-story or multiple story buildings.
And water bed
we said no water beds. You can't say you can only have a water bed on the ground floor. So it had to be no water beds because you can't have 2 different classes of owners. But, I remember distinctly having the old covenant set language in that said no water beds. They were also very heavy.
Oh yeah, they were definitely heavy.
Mhm.
Yeah, and cold.
Yeah.
I remember.
Well, they did come out with heated.
Yes,
ones,
and that's what you have to have, really, because
the water's cold.
especially when you first fill it up. I mean,
Yeah.
I forgot. Oh, this is going to be great. Wait a minute.
Yikes.
Anyway, the last article we have is what causes you to jolt awake right before falling asleep.
Yeah, it's like somebody called your name and you suddenly wide awake. You're just drifting off to sleep, and the answer is they don't know.
Well, let's read the article. It's one of the oddest sensations you can experience if you're trying to turn in for the night. I've had it actually happen while I was sleeping, and then all of a sudden
You wake up and go, "What the hell?
Yeah.
It's 2:46. Why am I awake?"
Just as you think you're falling asleep, you suddenly feel like you're in a free fall. Your stomach somersaults and your body involuntary spasms as you lay in bed.
Your limbs, even your entire upper body, may jerk or thrash in the process. No logical reason why you felt as if you briefly entered a fight or flight mode, and whatever calmness you recently attained is erased in an instant.
Your experience may leave you confused, annoyed, or simply weirded out. And to make matters
what else is new?
Make matters worse, it's likely it isn't the first time this happened. But if there is any consolation, you're not alone.
An estimated 70% of people will experience what's called hypnic jerking at least once in their lives. Around 10% of the population may even regularly succumb to the sensation, also called hypnagogic jerks, in reference to the hypnagogic transitional stage of falling asleep.
And yet, despite its regularity and decades of documentations, researchers haven't a clue.
They don't know why it happens. And so there's a fellow by the name of Alan Reichert, who's an associate professor of psychiatry and division director of sleep medicine at the University of Mississippi Medical Center's Department of Psychiatry and Human Behavior.
He must have a big card.
His credentials are bigger than the paragraph. Okay. He says, I'm not aware of any good explanation for why it happens. It's an organized muscle movement, so it's going to require central nervous system communications. Where and what stimulates that movement and why is unknown.
There are a few notables.
Notables. I don't think that's a word.
However, according to experts, the movements are prime examples of
myoclonus
or myoclonic jerks, involuntary muscle spasms similar to hiccups or epileptic seizures.
Well, that's quite a difference between a hiccup and a seizure.
For sure, but they're both involuntary for sure. And that isn't to say that jolting awake shortly after turning out the lights is cause you to schedule an MRI or doing exploratory surgery.
Right. We don't think of it as a pathological problem, says this researcher. It's a normal phenomenon. It's definitely not a sign of sleep disorder that we would treat, and not a sign of any underlying problems such as seizures or movement disorders.
Yes, then still many researchers have offered their own plausible theories to explain this. One group
hypothesis.
You know what I mean?
Guesses.
Guesses that the sensation happens after decreasing blood pressure and muscle tissue relaxation causes your brain to misfire and briefly enter a panic mode.
And while there isn't concrete evidence to back it up, other experts contend the feeling arises when your brain instinctually thinks you're liable to fall out of a tree, which may have been the case for some of our primate ancestors.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it sure was. You'd think evolution would have taken care of that.
Yeah, but as long as these jerks or fears of them aren't negatively impacting your life, then they say there's no need to get medical advice.
Yeah, for the time being, hypnagogic jerks remain yet another mysterious evolutionary quirk of being human. But they are certainly not an issue worth losing sleep over.
Yeah, definitely. And most of these things that we think about sleep shouldn't keep you awake. So overthinking the problem will cause it more more stress, and then can impact your sleep negatively naturally.
I think what it comes down to is sleeping in a dark room which is quiet.
No TV.
Yeah, no. There's some people say, "Oh, I have to have the TV on in order to fall asleep." Well, that to me is too much. It's too much input while you're trying to relax.
Yeah, you're fatiguing yourself into sleep.
Yeah. Now, sometimes, every once in a while, we used to use a sleep sound machine.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Wow.
And today, if we're on the road and staying in a hotel, maybe sometimes I'll turn it on because there's too much ambient noise.
Right.
And that helps. It's just the sound of a river flowing or something like that. Just a natural sound without a disruptive pattern. Nothing to jar you awake.
Yeah.
You know, and it's also interesting. I have found if you're sleeping at your house, you know what the sounds are. You know, you're used to the clicks and the settling sounds and the refrigerator coming on and off, and whatever. And but in a hotel room, for example, sound can wake you up.
No doubt.
Because it's just not what you're used to.
Yeah, and also a good advice is not to take your devices into the bedroom, leave them out. Wi-Fi is constantly there, I guess, and there's some talk about and theories about that disrupting your.
Yeah, well, what we also do is all of our devices are set to do not disturb.
Yeah.
So my do not disturb goes on at 10 p.m. and lasts until 9 a.m. And I originally did that when we moved to Colorado, and we were 2-hour time difference.
Right.
And my practice was still in Florida. So at 9 o'clock, promptly 9 o'clock, somebody would call me from Florida, and it was 7 o'clock here, you know. So I just had my phone set to be 9 o'clock here. And then it will ring through. It will go to voicemail, but it won't ring through.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the do not disturb is you can set your iPhone for sure. You can set if the number's not in your contact list, it won't ring through, but it will go to voicemail.
Yeah. Well, I think using the devices less is an important part.
Well,
I know when I go for my walk, I don't take my iPhone with me.
I know. I wish you would, just for safety reasons.
Yeah, but it's not that far, and I can always crawl home.
Right, or you can knock on a neighbor's door.
Yeah, whatever. But I mean, we lived years and years and years
with no cell phones,
with all this stuff. I mean, remember the phone used to be attached to a wall with a cord. You couldn't take it anywhere.
And then you got cordless phones, but you still couldn't go out of the house.
And they weighed 5 pounds.
Oh, yeah. So you weren't going to put it in your pocket.
Things have changed, and I'm sure they're going to continue to change. But I think it's wise to kind of disconnect yourself from devices. And this
when I was training managers and doing motivational speaking and so on a regular basis, I always added, disconnect from your devices. You have to do it, as we are all. It's like Pavlov's dog. When the bell rang, the dog ran to get fed. Right. And when the ding comes through on the phone, it's like, somebody wants me. Oh my God, let me find out.
Probably not important.
No.
And what the actual alarm triggers in you, that it's urgent.
Well, right.
And it may be urgent, but that doesn't mean it's important. Right.
Well, somebody thinks it's urgent.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, that's pretty much it for today. I hope you enjoyed the show, and give us a like.
Yeah, I remember, we're doing shows when we find fun stuff to talk about or interesting.
Yeah, we're not much on a schedule. We try to do 2 a month, but anyway, in June we're going on vacation, so probably won't be 2. Sometimes there's only 1 a month, but that's the way we roll nowadays.
Yeah.
Things come up.
Not on a schedule.
Yeah, it's pretty nice for sure. Anyway, thanks for sticking around. I appreciate it.
Be well, be safe.
Bye-bye now.